All right, welcome back to the show. We are having Shamus McClure, the founder of Milkman Toner Company, on the set. How you doing today, Shamus?
Doing good, Mark. Thanks for having me.
And we also have your daughter, Cassidy, here. She's kind of observing. I know she's kind of quieter side, but Cassidy, feel free to chime in at any point during the conversation here. We're talking about entrepreneurship. Give us an overview of the Milkman Toner Company and all the businesses that you've got going.
Yeah, so we're a Northern California-based business-to-business service and support company that takes care of printers, copiers, scanners, and fax machines. Primarily all business.
All business, all the office equipment that keeps somebody's business afloat. You can't get by these days without with all that stuff.
Exactly. We're in the toner business. Yes, we sell equipment and lease equipment, but what we're really after is to be that support company that you think of when you need toner.
Yeah. Every business needs to have these. You can't always go over to Kinko's. Once you get to a certain size, you got to have you've got to have that partner alongside you. And now, just thinking about your business, the technology has changed so much over the years, right? Where back in the fax machine days to now, it's printers and copiers. Are copiers used less today?
Printers primarily used more today. People still use copiers, but they're using them to scan. Faxing's not; it's almost obsolete. People aren't faxing so much anymore. But scanning's a big deal. Printing's a big deal. The equipment's gotten cheaper. It's gotten a lot better, and it's just a fun business to spoil customers and take care of your employees.
That's awesome. And now your son graduated from Lincoln High School last night.
Yes.
Is that right? And is he part of the business too?
He does work, part-time in the business, anywhere from sweeping floors to delivering toner.
How is he at the business? I got a kid in the business, too. How's that working out?
It's good.
I got a couple kids in the business.
Exactly. No, but it's good because it makes Dad toe the line and set a good example.
Yes, exactly. You've got to set an example. I need to work on that myself. Now, you've had some success in the past in this business. I know you've built up a company with your partner Dell, and you were successful and ended up selling the company. And now, give us a little bit of that background. What's it like to sell a company?
Yeah, we had started a company called Docura back in 1999, and ran it for about 9 years. And I had a partner, Dell Countess, and we sold that. And it was interesting because we weren't really looking to sell per se, but we had a great company, great employees, nice little profitable company, and then we looked at each other one day, Dell and I, and said, you know what, maybe now's the time to take a break and kind of look elsewhere. And so we sold to a good company here in Sacramento, and stayed on with them for a while, which we appreciated. And then in 2013, started Milkman Toner Company.
Now you, when you have that kind of success and a liquidity event such as that, it works out pretty well for the family. Now you also started a leasing company where you're funding your own deals now, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. That's risky, but I guess it's good for business.
It's good for business. It keeps it all in house. It makes it easy for the customer. You sort of are paying it forward because you're funding deals instead of using a GE Capital or a Wells Fargo to do it, and it just gives the customers great flexibility, and it's a lot of fun to build up a little portfolio of that.
Yeah. Now you and Dell were partners. What kind of partner was Dell?
Dell was a great partner. Dell was.
I happen to know Dell from way back when.
Yeah, Dell. I was 27. I think Dell was about 39 when we started it. I was kind of let's just go do it. We don't need any rules and get out there. And Dell was a more conservative, well, settle down there, son. And we were a great balance for each other. Plus, our wives really helped out big time.
Nice. Yeah. Now, any advice to other entrepreneurs out there when you're choosing a business partner? I mean, how do you choose the right guy or right girl?
That's a great question too. You know, a lot of people I see have there's 3 partners in a mix, and that always scared us because who's odd man out? So the two of us, we did well. We worked well together, and we always had the $50 rule. If one of us is going to write a check or spend more than $50, as small as that is, we always checked with each other.
That
Quick
helps.
phone call,
Yeah.
quick, exactly.
Build trust, communicate on major expenditures, even $50 when you're trying to, because there's times when things are, I'm sure, tighter. Hey, $50 is $50.
Yeah, and then it makes you communicate, so you never not talk during the day.
Yeah. Now, we talked at the beginning of the show, and kind of the theme of the show is about what toughens you up and any tragedy or fights that you got into that, and I'm not just talking about internal business partners, just in life. Have you had tough times that have sort of made you stronger?
Yeah, when we started Milkman Toner, I was older, probably a little slower. This time I'm on my own, so I don't have the partner. And about 6 months into it, I was diagnosed with a little cancer.
Oh.
So that was a tough go. Because you're running a company, it's a small company of 6, 7, 8 people, and I'm the only sales guy. I'm the head of the company, and so you got to be on game every day, no matter what's going on, whether your kid's sick, you're sick, or you're losing a customer.
Yeah, and now I'm just thinking that I didn't know about that, and do you mind sharing where you're at today or what kind of cancer it was?
Yeah, it was a thyroid cancer, and they tell you it's the good cancer, which is nice. But they take your thyroid out, and then you do 90-day checkups, and you stay on it, and but it really makes you take a look at life in a different perspective.
Yeah. And who was most supportive during that difficult time?
Everybody, the whole family and friends and customers and everybody. I try to keep it on the down low, because I don't want to play the sympathy thing with everybody.
Yeah.
But man, it really energized me for moving forward. That if I can get through something like this, I can do anything with business.
Yeah.
And it really did strengthen you up. And it's behind me now. It's 2 years past since I had the surgery and all that, and the scans look great, and we just keep plugging forward.
Yeah, you talked about perspective and family and your friends and the community and your customers. Now, you guys do a lot of stuff for the community. You do things for Lincoln High School. I know you're an Allegiant Giving partner. Where does that come from?
My theory, even with customers and businesses, I really believe in paying it forward. Spoil the customer, take care of them. Maybe you're going to lose a few bucks on a customer, but you're going to get 10 customers in reverse from that, because they're gonna refer you, et cetera. And in the community, we're lucky to live where we live. We got great kids, great schools. A lot of these schools, football programs, cheerleading, they need financial support, and we try to do everything possible to facilitate that.
Now you guys really involved in Lincoln High School and helping the programs out over there. What are you doing for Lincoln? What have you done?
For Lincoln High School, we had some great events where when my son got into the program, they just were lacking good equipment.
Yeah.
From cameras to football pitching machines to sleds, just all the basics that some of the other schools in the region that have more money and more support had. And so our kids at Lincoln were at a little bit of a disadvantage. So we all kind of rallied families together and had some fundraisers, and it's amazing what you can do with a lot of people, some good food, and some good drinks.
Yeah, no doubt. And just thinking about the team, the community coming together, like you say, and investing into, I think, the future leaders of our community and how we have a great community in the future. You're right. I agree 100%. I grew up in this town, and this is a great place to live. Well, what about our kids and our grandkids? I mean, it starts with the young people.
It does. And these high school kids are so great, and they look at you. They look at all us parents and business owners and community members at what they're going to do in life. So they take a little taste of everybody so that they can kind of formulate what their game plan is going forward.
Let's talk about the future of your organization, your company. Where do you see Milkman and the leasing company in the future?
Well, my main goal is I want to stay a small business, and we want to keep it, 15 type number of employees, so that we don't get too large. I still love to sell, so I'm still out there selling copiers and printers.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that big time. Even the smallest deal I enjoy getting, a large deal I enjoy getting. So, but I enjoy staying active in the business. I love going and seeing customers, spoiling them, having a good time, and I want to do this for a long time.
Yeah, you're very humble. You're very much a people person, and I really appreciate you coming on the show today, Shamus. I appreciate you bringing Cassidy along with you. Cassidy, you were very quiet now, but we do appreciate you coming down to the show as well. And we talked about UFC on Facebook Live, and we're going down. I've got a huge week. Marcus, Tom, Todd, and I are going down to see Uriah fight, and then I'm going to see Lee Bryce and Paso Robles with some new friends. And then Marcus, me, and the family are going to Nashville for the CMAs. Stacy's going to check another thing off the list. So I've got a busy week ahead of me. And so next week on the show, Clint and Marcus have been kind enough to put together a best of. It'll be the best of Mark Haney. You want Mark Haney? You will see a little bit more of that in the coming week. And it's going to be a compilation of some of the different things that we've done on the show. So tune in next week. And I also want to take a minute to thank Andrew Moore, our friend over at Knee Deep Brewery. This Saturday, he is Saturday the 11th is going to have an anniversary party for his company. It's from 3 to 8, and the proceeds are going to the nonprofit Courage Worldwide, and there'll be food trucks out there. There will be music, all kinds of stuff. And my understanding is that there will be no animals allowed, which I think could be, that means there's a few people, I think, in the room that probably, Marcus, you can't come to that. I'm sorry. No animals allowed. So anyway, I want to thank you for coming on the show, but I also want to take a minute to thank the man that saved boxing. And change sports forever. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. The legendary Muhammad Ali died last night at the age of 74. And Ali, that's kind of a my generation kind of thing. Ali was one of the best athletes and showmen that ever graced the ring. I mean, I remember, Marcus, you probably remember this too. We were sitting in row 6 in Atlanta, the 1996 Olympics, and Muhammad Ali walks down with the torch, and we were sitting probably 10 feet away from him, and he was shaking, and I just remember that the whole world at that time kind of discovered the effects of Parkinson's disease, and I think although Muhammad was controversial, he will always be remembered.
I have wrestled with an alligator. I done tussled with a whale. I done handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail. That's bad. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. Man, dude.
This is Entrepreneurs Unlimited on Facebook Live, broadcasting from Sports 1140 KHDK, streaming live, podcast, and YouTube on HeyBiz.com. All right, welcome back. And, today's show kind of few takeaways, just thinking about where our fight comes from, where our inner toughness actually is built. And, it's built through tough times. I think tough times so many times strengthen us. But isn't our job as a quarterback, as the business leader, as the entrepreneur, isn't our job kind of to rally the team to fight together?
No question.
Right? You got, as an entrepreneur, as a leader, as a quarterback, you want to rally people to fight together. And if they fight, if you can be, if any of us can be the guy that is attractive enough to help collect people that have the same beliefs as you, as us, we're really drawn together, and that, I think that attraction, that it can be something worth fighting for. And I think so many times that we, as when we're alone, you're not nearly as strong as you are when you've got some people that are fighting alongside you. And I think that that's the essence of entrepreneurship, is who you have, what your ability is to bring on the team to build something and to fight. And that collective toughness is really the differentiator when we're trying to build a business. I'm here with Tom and Marcus, and we talk about toughness and where it comes from. And I mean, so many times, and we talked about America's youth a little bit with Shamus and how he's investing into the high schools and that kind of thing. And there's kind of a sissification happening in America's youth today. I mean, ninth place ribbons are okay in some situations, and I think that's a challenge for us.
Well, it's most definitely it's a challenge, and we actually covered the sissification of the American male, so to speak, in an earlier show. But it really, really has affected the way people approach things anymore because they're afraid of getting in trouble, and that's not necessarily a good thing. I mean, personally, I don't think so. You're a very strict guy. You're a very walk the line kind of guy. I was brought up by a guy like that, so that's how I raised my children. Marcus, you're raising Hunter the exact same way. I mean, these guys are going to be, my kids. Obviously your son Marcus and your daughter Ashley. They're leaders in the community, and they're leaders within the businesses that they're working within right now. It's necessary. It's necessary. I mean, weakness really has no place in business.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was also thinking. I feel like you watch the news and read books and articles. People have lost their tenacity to fight for what they believe in, and I say we try to get that back. And I love that's what we're doing here with Entrepreneurs Unlimited is opening up that as a forum to help people build something great and actually go for what they believe in.
It makes you think about all the times too where people have been misjudged. I think entrepreneurs in many situations, they're misjudged. In other words, hey, you're the small business guy. Okay, you never know who you're dealing with when you're in a fight, right? You see a small business guy, or you see somebody who is less intimidating, and you might misjudge that guy. Marcus, you ever been misjudged?
Once or twice, absolutely.
Yeah, you never know who you're messing with. You never really know that by looking on the outside, because the real fight, doesn't it come from the inside, Tom?
Without doubt, and it's those things that shaped us as human beings early in the program, right? And we talked about your fight with Paul. Mika was talking about, and I apologize, I just said Mika. It's Micah. Was talking about what a terrible tragedy to lose your mother. Your sister has a brain tumor. You get her through that. Next thing you know, your father dies on the side of a road, and then he loses his sister. That's perspective changing stuff, and it will realign the way you look at things for the rest of your life.
Yeah, he now does not sweat the small stuff as much.
Right. And we can learn from that.
Yeah, and I think the other thing that Micah said that I think is interesting. Shamus and Micah, I think both shared this about business partners and having the right people around you. That sometimes three is, there's somebody left out. There's an odd man out. And it kind of makes me think back to, I'm going to relate this back to business a little bit and business partners. So there's times when you really have to make a shift, like what Micah did. He shifted all the way into the business of making movies from, he was doing closets, right?
I mean, what a departure that is.
And that's a major decision, and the economic crisis created him to have to completely do like a 180 in his business career, and we had that as well with our video stores, right? As you build up, we were up to 12 video stores. There's the three brothers, right? My older brother Byron, me as the middle brother, and then my younger brother, Paul. And the three of us, we had these video stores, and next to every store, there was eventually a Blockbuster and a Hollywood Video. And on the horizon, you had cable TV coming, and you had the internet, and actually, cable TV was already in existence. Redbox. You had all this technology looming, right? Even social media, even the stuff that's happening now, all of this really killed the video store. So I can remember we were in a lot of debt. We brought in Byron, and Byron was really good at helping us get financing. He was the older brother, the MBA guy, and he was able to help us get some financing. And we got ourselves into quite a bit of debt, and we had bought out my parents, and we saw the looming changes coming in entertainment. And what do? And I think it froze us, right? The three brothers were sort of frozen, and we had a little bit of trouble making decisions on how we're going to pivot, what are we going to do, and really, I think there were, my older brother Byron, I think being the smarter one, and the older one. We had two straight A brothers, and then me. we were challenged because we weren't aligned in our thinking, right? We had the three brothers. And so Paul and I, we bought Byron out. We got into some more debt. We bought Byron out. Now it's the two little brothers, 27, 28 years old. And what are you going to do? We were in a ton of debt, and a big brother Byron who got us all the financing and everything.
Well, I was gonna ask you though.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You launched the smart one?
Paul was actually a smart one too. I still had one smart guy left, so luckily. So it was me and Paul, and Byron gone, but Paul and I were willing to fight together alongside one another. We had all of a sudden the hesitation and the what are we going to do, and oh no, Blockbuster's going to beat us up, and all that went away. It was like, what are we going to do? And we sort of I learned some lessons during that time. It's like, if you want to go into business with somebody, have a real fighter alongside you. A guy like Paul that is willing to roll up his sleeves, fight alongside you. He knows everything about you, and he still loves you. Have a guy like Paul next to you, a real fighter. I was fortunate enough to have that. And that, my friends, was probably the biggest decision of my life in business, is helping Paul to buy Byron out, and the two of us doing it together, side by side, as one. And I think that was a huge lesson. I think the second lesson is if you stumble, sometimes you just got to laugh and break into a jog. Because, in the video industry, we didn't know what we were going to do, right? So you have Blockbuster, Hollywood, cable, the internet. It's all looming down on us. And we decided to loan this guy some money, and a lot of money for us. We drew down on some lines of credit. We loaned a guy some money. He couldn't pay us back, ends up filing bankruptcy. And so all of a sudden, we are, instead of getting paid back our money, we get this little company that he has. And we took a hold of that, and we smiled. And we said, this was a hardware company. And they sold a little bit of security cameras, but mainly pro video stuff. Big customers are the Army Depot and McClellan and KCRA. It's videotapes, hardware. Anyway, we took a stumble. The guy couldn't pay us back, and we got his company. And then the Army Depot closed, right? McClellan closed. KCRA quit buying blank tape, right? That's no longer anything. And we pivoted into security cameras, wouldn't you know? And so we hired our closest friends, Paul's buddies from high school, my buddies from high school, Todd Flowers, my brother-in-law, a bunch of other buddies. And we picked up the telephone, and we started becoming security camera salesmen. We almost did what Micah did when we completely pivoted from video stores. We gradually wound down our video stores. We squeezed every bit of profit out of those video stores, wound them down nice and gracefully, and we focused on building our security business. And I really think that the next lesson I learned is really that some battles are really unwinnable, right? There was no way to win the battle. Mike could have win the closet battle during the 2008 financial crisis. There was no way to win the video store battle. It was unwinnable for an independent video store. Even Blockbuster and Hollywood are no longer around today. Sometimes you do have to pivot, and you gotta go ahead and say, I'm gonna lose that battle, but I'm gonna win the war. I'm gonna win the war. Paul and I built the security camera company with our buddies, and we didn't change our goals in life. We just pivoted to something else, and we made an effort to win the war. So I would just sum it up by just saying that this is a quote that I remember from a long time ago. Mr. Mark Twain said this: "It's not the size of the dog in the fight that matters most. It's the size of the fight in the dog." And that's the beauty of entrepreneurship. Let's win the battle. Let's get our friends together. Let's team up, and let's go. Let's beat the demons that are inside of ourselves. Let's beat the doubts. Beat the reasons why it shouldn't work. Figure out the reasons why it can work. And let's fight to win. Never above you. Never below you.
Always by your side.